Hare Krishna, everybody. So today we're gonna hear from Abhishek Prabhu, and after Abhishek Prabhu's question, I will also answer last week question that if intelligence is higher than the mind, according to Bhagavad Gita 3.42, then why does intelligence come from passion and mind comes from goodness? Let's first hear from Abhishek Prabhu. Abhishek Prabhu, you should be able to share your screen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sure. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Yeah. See, right.
Sorry, I was not able to follow.
Yeah, we are able to see. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me begin with the invocation. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Seeking permission and blessings from all devotees, Srila Prabhupada and Shri Radha Krishna. Today, to be able to present on this topic today. So, I honestly I took this topic because it was kind of little selfish of me also, because I wanted to read about it so that it can help me, and I hope that some parts of the presentation, if it maybe it is of benefit to everyone. So with that, I'll begin. So this topic is about chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So we will focus on the this specific verse from Shrimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10, which tells that irrespective of whatever is our situation, we should always worship Lord Krishna. Then we will try to understand why it is recommended that we should worship Lord Krishna. How does Lord fulfill uh, the desires of the those who approach him? If there are any other who are suitable recipients to be the object of worship, if not Lord Krishna. So these are the questions which um, I'll take briefly, and then what is the actual good desire to have while we are engaged in worshipping or devotional service, and then we'll look at what is the best process of worship. So, in the course of presentation, I would request devotees to read. So there will be a blue screen, blue shade on the slide, which is for everyone else to read. So I would request that please devotees come up for reading that part. So let us begin. So this is the verse which we are looking into. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So some of the important words from this verse are as follows. So it describes akama, those who have transcended all material desires, that is, those who don't have any material desires, like the devotees. Sarvakama, who has some total of material desires, who is full of material desires. And moksha kama, those who are desirous of liberation, or those who want to end their like those who are frustrated from this material perplexity, and those who want to end this material life. So for like these are all the different categories of people or categories of desires which people may have, and Srimad Bhagavatam recommends that all of these people should engage in bhakti yoga to worship the supreme person, that is Lord Krishna. So now the question is that scriptures are recommending us to worship Lord Krishna, and why is it so? So let us see. So um, it is described that Lord Krishna is the um, topmost authority. So here is the translation and purport. So I would request if someone can unmute and read this page.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone is dependent on the Lord for success. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotee, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation. One should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. Second one, a person with a broader outlook, purport, this is one actually. A
Yes, sir.
person with a broader outlook can see that the ultimate authority is the Lord, even for material benefits, under the circumstances. One with a broader outlook, even with the desire for material enjoyment or for liberation, should take to the worship of the Lord directly. And everyone, whether an akama or sakama or moksha kama, should worship the Lord with a great experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So the first part is the translation of the verse, and the second part is a brief paragraph from the purport where Srila Prabhupada has described that for any full desire fulfillment, Lord Krishna is the topmost authority, and he is also approachable. So like if we know someone as the topmost authority, but he is unreachable to us, then maybe there is a question that we may um, try to reach him via indirect ways, or try to reach a subordinate to him. But when the Lord himself is reachable, then there is no need to go to any other sub authority. So let us look further. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sthitayo bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasah. So everyone is so here let's see. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspects of his manifestations. Everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. So um, uh, basically here it is explained that people are looking to fulfill the desire of happiness in different ways, but most of them are unsatisfied. Even though they are looking for happiness, they're not getting true happiness, because um, even though everyone is looking for happiness, they don't know that how to look for it or where to look for it. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining here that actually, whether people know or don't know, they are actually searching for Lord Krishna, because that connection is what we as soul are hankering for. But not knowing this as a factual truth, we are looking for this happiness in different aspects of life. So, not realizing that we are actually searching for Lord Krishna. And that is why the results of our so-called material search never satisfies us. It is also explained that all the other processes are different degrees of success on the same path. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that another way to look at this is that all other processes are incomplete or imperfect, and their perfection reaches when they culminate in Bhakti Yoga. So, all the other processes, even though they may have some success, their actual success lies when they culminate in Bhakti Yoga. So, in other words, all the other processes are imperfect till they reach to Bhakti Yoga. So, this is why worshipping by the process of Bhakti Yoga is um, is the process. That is why we should worship Lord Krishna irrespective of any or all desires. Let us read further that. So, if someone is engaged in worshipping Lord Krishna for material desires, what does Lord say? What does Lord think about them? Would anyone like to read this part?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Srimad Bhagavatam 5.19.27. How does the Lord fulfill material desires? Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motives, but he does not bestow benedictions upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benedictions again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Supreme Personality's special mercy. Purport: Whether one is free from all material desires, is full of material desires, or desires to become one with the Supreme, he should engage in devotional service. In this way, not only will the devotee's desires be fulfilled, but the day will come when he will have no other desire than to serve the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Krishna is so merciful that he turns a materially motivated devotee into a pure devotee.
Thank you, Mataji. So here we see a glimpse into how Lord Krishna is seeing someone who is approaching for him for material desires. So it is like this also explains that why it is recommended that we go to Lord Krishna, because Lord by his special mercy he fulfills the desires, and he fulfills it in such a way that the devotee is also purified. Let us look at this little further. Um, let's see. Yes. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Um, um, I would request someone to read again, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please.
How Lord protect his worshipper. If those who desire material enjoyment of merging into the existence of the absolute truth engage in the Lord transcendental loving service, they will immediately attain shelter at Krishna lotus feet, although they did not ask for it. Krishna is therefore very merciful. Chaitanya Charita Amrit, Madhya 22.37. Krishna said, if one engage in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gave up abscesses to drink a poison. CC Madhya 22.38. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this full material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of a shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusionary material enjoyment. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22.39. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is a discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Goswami. So here it is described that whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill any material desire, he does so, but does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause the petitioner to come to him again for fulfilling further desires. So Lord Krishna fulfills it in such a way that the devotee will not ask for more material desires. And when one has material desires but engages in Lord Krishna's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other material desires. And this is something which is very unique quality of Lord Krishna, because this is not exhibited by anyone else. For example, if we go to someone for fulfilling material desires, they may or may not fulfill them, but they do not give us bhakti to the Lord. So that is why here also it is recommended that whatever be the situation, we should always worship Lord Krishna. Let us look further that are there any example in our scriptures who show this point? So this is a very famous incident in Srimad Bhagavatam. Someone would like to guess, like which is one example which is on these lines from Bhagavatam. It's a very famous case and we have heard about it. So it's a question. Maybe you can try answer. The past time where someone approached Lord for material desires and his desires were fulfilled.
Dhruv
You can,
Maharaj.
yes, thank you. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So we'll look at the example of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj originally desired for a kingdom greater than his great grandfather Lord Brahma. And this wish was fulfilled by the Lord, but he received much more. Lord gave him pure devotional service and also fulfilled his material desires. And like not even that, Dhruva Maharaj got a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma, for which he actually prayed. Initially, he also wanted the kingdom of his father when he was trying to get on his lap. So Lord fulfilled this material desire also. That in the because Dhruv Maharaj wanted to be the king of uh, the kingdom of his father, he got that kingdom also. He got a kingdom which is greater than Lord Brahma's planet, and he also got pure devotion service. So when Krishna is pleased and wants to give, his blessings are unfathomable. So let us briefly read. When Dhruv Maharaj saw Lord Vishnu, he declined to take any benedictions from him, for he was fully satisfied by seeing the Lord. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that because Dhruv Maharaj in the beginning had desired a kingdom greater than his father's, he was promoted to Dhruvloka, the blessed planet in the universe, where Lord himself resides. So here we see briefly that how someone approached Lord Krishna for material desires. Their material desires were also fulfilled, and they also became pure devotees. Now, the next question is that is there any other one whom people generally worship for fulfilling their material desires? So this is also a very common question. Someone would like to guess that when generally have people material desires, whom they do go to?
Demigods?
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So uh, generally, uh, I hope you can appreciate this image. Um, so generally, if people have material desires, they go to different demigods for different purposes. Srila Prabhupada gives a very interesting point in one of the purports, which I would like to read, just to show that why it is not very intelligent to go to demigods. Srila Prabhupada in 7.4.29 Srimad Bhagavatam says, the less intelligent men who are always busy worshipping the demigods should note that when the demigods are harassed by the demons, they approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead for relief. So, since the demigods resort to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why should the worshippers of the demigods not approach the Supreme Lord for whatever benefit they desire? So, the point Srila Prabhupada is making that if the demigods are themselves worshipping Lord Krishna, then why should any other worship waste his time with worshipping the demigods. They can also directly worship Lord Krishna. So here again Srila Prabhupada explains that whether one is a karmi, jnani or yogi, if one wants a particular benediction fulfilled, even if it be material, one should approach the Supreme Lord and pray to him, for then it will be fulfilled. There is no need to approach any demigod separately for the fulfillment of any desire. So let me, like this is our situation that um, we may have so many material desires. So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very beautifully described this situation. Maybe some of you have also seen this story or image where a person is um, hanging in a well. There are mm, snakes at the bottom, and there is of the well he is hanging by a rope. There is a tiger on the outside of the well. So if he goes down, he will be bitten by snake. If he goes up, uh, he will be eaten by the tiger. And he is in a very difficult situation. But at the same time, there is a tree from which there are honeybees, and honey is dropping from uh, from the tree, and that drop of honey falls into the mouth of this person who is almost at the verge of death, and he feels that, oh, this honey is so sweet, this is such a nice situation. So sometimes this is explained that how is our situation, that we are caught from all sides, but somehow for little material happiness we may feel that this is a very nice situation. So let me read briefly this um, very nice analogy given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Um, let's see. A piece of grass in a river, tossed here and there with different types of woods and tree branches. Similarly, I, living entity, float in the ocean of material existence, dashed and tossed amidst material conditions. One kind of fruitive activity causes a body. An action in that body leads to another body. And this is my material situation. Now, Srila Vishwanath Thakur goes on to explain that what is the cure for this situation when we are tossed from one side to the other side. He explains, one must stop these material activities. Human form of life is the chance to do so. Engaging myself in the service of the Lord, materialistic activities will automatically stop. One must fulfill one's desire by surrendering on to the Supreme Lord, for He, the Lord, knows how to fulfill them. Even if having material desires, still engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. That will purify my struggle for existence. So here we also see the example of Gajendra, who was struggling against the crocodile for his life, and ultimately he surrendered to Lord Krishna, and he was saved from his struggle of material existence. Now, coming back to the story of Dhruva Maharaj, to finish that story, we saw that how Lord Krishna reciprocated with Dhruva Maharaj, and it is also instructive to see that how Dhruva Maharaj thinks. So Dhruva Maharaj says, Swamin Kritarthosmi Varam Nayache. Swamin, O Lord, Kritartha Asmi, I am fully satisfied or I am full of gratitude. Varam, any benediction, Nayache, I do not ask. So this is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When he was being blessed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhruva Maharaj said, O my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penances and austerities. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I found the most valuable jewel. Therefore, I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. So we see the point of the devotee who, even though had the material desires which are fully fulfilled, but still he is desiring only service of the Lord. And now to complete this story about desires, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that what is actually the best desire or the only desire to have. Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. Translation: when first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy and fruitive action. Thus, devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. And Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport, one's only business should be to satisfy Lord Krishna. And this is the best desire to have. So now, if we see that worshipping Lord Krishna, irrespective of our situation, is the best path to take. And now we'll move on to the second part, that how should we express this desire. So Srila Prabhupada explains that if you want something other than Krishna, he will accommodate you because he is all powerful. But if you want Krishna, then he will reciprocate in that way also. So I will request you to briefly read this um, from a Japa talk. Someone could please unmute and read.
I can read.
Yes.
Chanting as the expression of our desire. Srila Prabhupada. If you want something other than Krishna, he will accommodate you. But if you only want Krishna, then he will also reciprocate in that way. From Yapa talk, while chanting Hare Krishna, we have the opportunity of expressing our desire. Even if it is a small desire, it doesn't matter, small or big, it is the same. The desire is Krishna. I only want you. In that mood of chanting, if the mind wanders and thinks maybe there is something better somewhere else, because the chanting seems repetitious or boring, one can remember that the holy name is the source of everything. Everything the mind wants to shop for elsewhere comes from the holy name anyway. So I might as well stay here and be fully absorbed.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So here we see briefly that the best means to worship Krishna is via his holy names. Now let us go further. Holy name, they have the power to fulfill all desires because they are non-different from Lord Krishna. And it is also described that specifically for our time, the Yoga Dharma is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Now we know that if someone is thirsty, he is not satisfied by chanting water. He needs the actual substance. But in the spiritual world, the name and the substance are not different. So if someone says water, in the spiritual world, their thirst will also be quenched. Similarly, so the word water is same as the substance. Similarly, the name of Krishna is fully transcendental and Krishna is present, being non-different from his name. So when we chant the names of Krishna, he is actually present. And therefore there is no difference between chanting and being with Lord Krishna, because it is non-different from the personality of Lord Krishna. There is a very instructive story regarding this, because many people like me uh, may feel that if chanting is same as association of Lord Krishna, then why does it not feel like it when I chant? So in this regard, there is a very nice story which I read. There was once a guru and a disciple. So the disciple asked the Guru, what is the most confidential secret of bhajan? So the Guru replied that the most confidential secret of bhajan is to always chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the disciple was very happy. He thought that now his life is successful. And then he went outside the ashrama and he met a poor washerman who was beating his clothes and he was chanting Hare Krishna. Then he saw some little girls who were picking up cow dung and they were also chanting Hare Krishna. Finally, the disciple hired a rickshawala and the skinny rickshawala was also singing Hare Krishna. Now the disciple was perplexed that Gurudev, he asked his Gurudev, what kind of secret you have given me that is known to the whole world? Even the dhobi, the rickshawala, and little girls in India know about this. Is there anything really confidential about this secret? So the Guru smiled. Instead of giving him an answer, he gave him a jewel and told him, go and show this to all these three people and see if they know the actual value of the jewel. So the disciple went to the dhobi and asked if the dhobi can pay the correct price and take this jewel. So the dhobi said that that I can use this. Looks like a heavy stone. I can use this for beating my clothes. So the disciple refused to give the gem to the dhobi, saying that you have to pay the proper price for it. For beating the clothes, a stone or a piece of wood is sufficient. Then he showed the gem to the rickshawala. Rickshawala said that it is little rough. I can use it for scraping my dry skin off the feet. The disciple was shocked. Then he went to the village girls. Failing to recognize the true worth of the jewel, the girls said, we could use the jewel to pack the cow dung. Then the disciple met again with his Guru and said, Gurudev, nobody wanted to pay the proper price for the jewel, nor could anyone appreciate the great value of the jewel. And his Guru replied, yes, in the same way, most people cannot appreciate the value of the holy name. For this reason, they are indifferent to chanting of Hare Krishna. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is an open secret that is revealed only to the qualified. So, probably, at least I have felt that this is many times the reason for uh, in my own chanting. So let us read ahead. So this is a very nice um, um, part quoted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this is a kind of a poem. It's called Chant Anyways, which is also the title of this slides. So I'll read one part, and on the next slide, I'll request someone else to please unmute and read. So let me just quickly read. So this goes like this. Your mind is wandering all over the universe when you chant. Chant anyway. Your mind is wandering to the past and the future when you chant. Chant anyway. You are not able to concentrate on Krishna's names while you chant. Chant anyway. You have no taste for chanting. Chant anyway. You have lusty desires. Chant anyway. You are making offenses in chanting. Chant anyway. You are not praying to Krishna to help you to chant better. Chant anyway. You often chant late at night. Chant anyway. And this is why. So I would request someone else to read this part, please. Unmute and I'll show. Someone can unmute. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, I can.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Please read ahead. This is the answer to our queries. So please read with authority. Thank you. Yes.
There is no woe like chanting the holy name, no knowledge superior to it, no meditation which comes anywhere near it, and it gives the highest result. No penance is equal to it, and nothing is as potent or powerful as the holy name. Chanting is the greatest act of piety and the supreme refuge. Even in the words of the Vedas do not possess sufficient power to describe its magnitude. Chanting is the highest path to liberation, peace, and eternal life. It's the pinnacle of devotion, the heart's joyous proclivity and attraction, and the best form of remembrance of the Supreme Lord. The holy name has appeared solely for the benefit of the living entities as their Lord and Master, their supreme worshipable objects, and their spiritual guide and mentor. Whoever continuously chants Lord Krishna's holy name, even in his sleep, can easily realize that the name is a direct manifestation of Lord Krishna himself, in spite of the influences of Kali Yuga.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I hope um, this was nice to read. I really like this prayers. So let us read further that is it true like are there other sources which share the same message? So scriptures also support this point. Lord Hari has collected all powers to remove sins and bring auspiciousness from charity, vow, austerity, pilgrimage, the demigod, the great saints, the Rajsuya and Ashwamedh Yagyas, study of transcendental knowledge, and place these powers in his holy name. And thus holy name are the Yoga Dharma. Now, briefly, let us discuss from our bhakti scriptures. We have read about the five potent forms of bhakti as described in Nectar of Devotion. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that actually these five potent forms of bhakti lead to the chanting of the holy name. So, I would request someone to please, those who have not read, if they would like, please unmute and read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, please.
The five potent items of bhakti that lead to chanting. 1. Sadhu Sangha. Associating with devotees is recommended to create a taste or inclination for Sri Nam Bhajana. This comes from association with holy saints who are attached to chanting Krishna's holy names with firm faith and who systematically chant the names. 2. Bhagavat Shravana, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which itself declares Sri Nama Bhajana to be the highest virtue. In its beginning, middle, sixth canto, Ajamila story, and end, the Srimad Bhagavatam repeatedly stresses the efficacy of Sri Nam Bhajana. 3. Mathuravas. Sri Nam Bhajan is situated at the root of residence in Vrindavan or Sridham Mayapur. The sadhus living in or visiting these holy places are always engaged in Nam Sankirtan. 4. Sri Murti Seva. The service of Krishna's deity is always conducted with mantras full of God's names. The Hari Bhakti Vilas and Sri Jiva Goswami say that deity service must be accompanied with chanting the Hare Krishna mantra for it to be accepted. 5. Nama Sankirtan is directly chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here we see, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained, that how the five potent forms of bhakti, in one way, they all lead to the better chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this regard, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Prakashan and Saraswati, so this is a conversation which happens in Varanasi, when Prakashan and Saraswati, who is the leader of the sannyasis, Mayavadi sannyasis, he had 80,000 sannyasi disciples. He asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that why do you, even being a sannyasi, like Prakashan and Saraswati is asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why do you chant the holy name of the Lord? Because sannyasis are meant to be reading Vedanta. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answers, in the Kali Yuga there is no other sadhana but to chant the holy name. It is the essence of all Vedic mantras and the purport of all Shastras. Nam vinu kali kale nahi ara dharma, sarva mantra sara nama ei shastra marma. Simply chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. So these are all, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained this in this verses around Adi Leela chapter 7, around verse 74. So very instructive to read if someone would like to read more on this point. Now, in the last part, I would like to conclude with this small message that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also explains that why we don't see one of the reasons why we don't see the full potency of the holy name is because we never welcome Lord Krishna properly. So he explains that the name is not different from Krishna, and it is manifest as soon as we chant. And if we are sincere, we can discover him. But in Kali Yuga, we are surcharged with wrong impressions, and it is very difficult for us to chant without distraction. And we have so many desires that whenever we try to chant, we are distracted. And so he gives this suggestion that if we want to chant nicely, we should protect ourselves from the 10 offenses and from distraction. And one of the most common of the mistakes which at least I know that I have is the criticizing mentality. So I would request someone else to read. So this is the last part and then we are done. Someone can read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. One of the most common mistakes, criticizing mentality. Some people think if devotee commit forbidden act, it is not offensive to criticize them, since it is simply stating the fact. In his commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sridhar Swami said, Nindanam dosha kirtanam, whether it is true or not, narrating the faults of a sadhu institutes blasphemy. The Srimad Bhagavatam warned that hearing blasphemy of a devotee will send one to hell. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this regard, we have also discussed in our classes that we should try to look for good qualities in devotees. And if in case we are not able to see the good qualities, we should find some other devotee and see good qualities in them rather than trying to criticize. So as a takeaway, I'll just like to highlight these points that we may be facing so many challenges and it is always like very difficult. Our situation, at least personally, I feel that it could be very difficult. But we should always take to this process of devotional service. And chanting is the best means to perform this process. So here are two comments which quotes which I would like to read to conclude from Vaishishika Prabhu. Chanting is very natural process of calling out. The calling out is please help me. It is a very personal connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. All perfections can be achieved by chanting the mantra. So call out to Krishna when you chant. Please engage me in service and please save me from this ocean of material existence. And from Sachinandan Swami. When chanting, call out to Krishna in a humble spirit, knowing that only He can save us. And as it is said that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyev, 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 Gatiranyatha. There is no other means, no other means, no other means than chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So in conclusion, I would just like to say that if there were some parts of this presentation which you could appreciate, I was only able to share because of the blessings of my teachers from whom I have learned something. And if there were some mistakes which I did, so probably actually they were my fault, so I would request your forgiveness for that. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah. Thank you. I would conclude my presentation. Well, if there are any more discussion points, maybe we can take. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Ramalas Prabhuji, I am not able to hear you.
Any questions, comments, realizations for Abhishek Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a really nice presentation, really kept my attention on every slide. Didn't realize that 45 minutes had gone by. So thank you so much. And thank you for highlighting all the points that are so important. I do feel I do struggle with distractions. That's my biggest offense. And thank you for reiterating that we need to continue to chant no matter what. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very beautiful, Prabhuji. Very beautifully you presented everything. As Nitya Mataji said, we are really like waiting for what is coming next. What is coming next? So not for a friction of second, we were like here and there. We were very focused. And even I saw that whatever Rajesh Prabhu has told, whatever the instruction Prabhuji has given to us, you follow everything in a particular way. Very nice, Prabhuji. But I have a question. So now we learn in your slide that where to approach. We have to approach to Krishna. What to desire. We learn that also. But as a newcomer, how to come in a platform? So we should not ask for a material desire.
I can only try to. So I find this question a little difficult because I am not at that situation, at that position.
I will answer.
Yes,
So this is the learning from Dhruv Maharaj's chapter. The question that Archana asked is actually word for word in one of the purport for the Dhruv Maharaj chapters. That the answer given to this question by Prabhupada in those purport is that even if you have material desires, still approach the Lord. And that's the verse Abhishek Prabhu quoted 2.3.10. Kama sarva kamava, moksha kama udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham para. That whether you have no desires, whether you have material desires, or whether you want liberation, one should worship the Lord with all their means. And Abhishek Prabhu also had a slide with the Dhruv Maharaj slide, which was actually pointing the answer to this question that Dhruv Maharaj started with material desire and ended up going to become a pure devotee. And that's the point explained in that Dhruv Maharaj section in Canto 4. The initial few chapters are on Dhruv Maharaj, where this point is explained that it's okay to start with material desires. It's okay to go to Krishna for material desires. And Abhishek Prabhu has already correctly pointed out that Krishna will fulfill your desire in such a way that you will say, oh, actually, I don't want that material desire. I have Krishna. Just as Dhruv Maharaj said, I was praying for broken piece of glass, but I have attained the jewel. So Archana's question is actually word for word in one of the purport of Canto 4, the Dhruv Maharaj chapters. And I hope that answers Archana. Everybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes. One more question. I'm sorry. So one of the slide you said chant. Anyways, we have to chant. Often, if you are doing offenses also, but please chant. And other slide you said avoid offenses. Now, can you put more light on it? So if I have to chant offenselessly, so what I have to do?
So I will let me answer this also, that our goal is to chant offenselessly. Our goal is to reach pure chanting. Right now, I am contaminated. So we can continue to chant even with offenses, because offensive chanting will lead to pure chanting. And we have discussed this in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 8, offenses to avoid discussion, that the example discussed is that a child is learning to walk and he keeps falling. And the child says, well, I keep falling, I will not walk at all. Well, then the child will never be able to walk. But if he stands up every time and learns to walk, then he goes on to run a marathon and 100-meter race, etc. So failure starts when you stop endeavoring. Therefore, do not stop your endeavor. Yes, be conscious that you are chanting with offenses, but have that goal. Oh, somehow I need to purify. That somehow, how that happens is first you become conscious and you chant in association with pure devotees or elevated devotees. So if you are chanting by yourself, you can play Prabhupada chanting in the background. And you are actually chanting with Prabhupada. Or we have japa groups and chant with devotees together. Now, the japa group also, we have devotees who are like us. They individually probably may be doing some offenses. So how does that help? And we have discussed that in that japa group or in your offline groups for Bhagavatam discussion, you are not doing chit chat. You are not doing any gossip. Your sole focus is to come together in devotee association and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and discuss Krishna Katha. So that becomes a pure environment. Right? Even though devotees may have defects, does not matter. The environment and the association becomes pure, and that helps you. So many devotees have mentioned that this japa group, the japa is always very nice. Why? Because the environment is very nice, is pure. Yes, so both avenues can work, that you can do japa with pure devotees, or you can create a pure environment. So say sometimes spiritual masters visit, same when my spiritual master visits. So go early in the morning when he's doing japa, sit with him, do japa. Sometimes he has also conducted japa sessions at the Toronto temple, that how do I chant with attention. And just as we have the Srila Prabhupada's japa that I normally play before our classes, there's also a japa from my spiritual master, his grace Vaishyadas Adhikari, where he is just chanting. In that, my spiritual master's japa, actually behind, there is Prabhupada japa playing. So my spiritual master, as disciple of Prabhupada, he is teaching us that in the background, play your spiritual master's japa. So you can do that play Prabhupada japa in the background, and has to be softer so that you can just about listen and let your mind not deviate. So these are the learnings that you try the various options that are available, and keep working. Understand that this is, for some, at least for me also, is work in progress. For some will take a very long time. For some may take short time. So right now, I will play my Guru Maharaj's japa just for a minute, just to show how he has shown us to play Prabhupada japa in the background. so that we are associating together with Prabhupada. So I'll play briefly and then pause. I'm not going to play for long, just to make that point. Let's hear from my Guru Maharaj playing, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with Prabhupada Japa playing in the background. Exactly the Prabhupada Japa that I play every morning. That's what my Guru Maharaj is playing in the background. Let's hear.
Used to walk from Kurughat every day to get away from the crowds. The paparazzi were there, and he would come all the way to the Jamuna at Imli Tal, and he'd sit under the Imli Tal tree where he could see the beautiful form of Jamuna, and he'd chant from early morning up until the afternoon time. So we're following in his footsteps. Shall we? All right. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama.
So did you hear that how my Guru Maharaj is chanting and in the background Prabhupada Japa is playing? Now you notice that the Japa is not synchronized. That's okay. Prabhupada is chanting at his pace. You can chant at your pace. And the focus should be to pronounce each syllable of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly and with attention. Archana and
I was
everybody,
not able to hear anything. I'm not sure if this was for everyone else also. I
did
didn't
rest
hear.
of you hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu.
Then maybe my mistake. Sorry.
Archana and everybody, does that help with your inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji, very nice. Prabhuji, can you share that chanting, Prabhuji?
Chanting of what, Prabhupada? Or?
No, you Guru Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I will send it to you.
Okay, Hari Bol.
And whosoever wants can please let me know an offline message and I will send it to you. Mangala and Das.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question on behalf of some other people. So I'm okay to do perform some other devotional service, but I don't want to spend time chanting. I don't have time chanting. I don't want to do chanting. I hate chanting. So how can you answer this question? Like why chanting? Anyway.
Yeah. Do you eat every day? Mangala and Das?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a selfish thing to do. Like doing some other service is like thing, better.
Yeah. Answer my question.
Yes,
Do you eat?
yes, I do. Yes.
Do you eat every day?
Yes.
So chanting is the food for the soul. So Rath Yatra is coming up. This is the message on many of the websites and the billboards for Rath Yatra. Feed your soul. Now your point about, let me do services. I don't care for chanting. First understand the structure given to us by Brahmaji in Brahma Samhita. Yes, the hierarchy that you should follow is sadhana is higher than your service. So your step one is your health, then comes sadhana, and then comes your service. Why? Without your sadhana, you are not going to be able to do your service. What is your sadhana? What is the purport of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? We are saying or asking or begging Srimati Radharani and Krishna, please engage me in your services at your lotus feet. So how are you able to do services without having that energy to do your services? And I have given this example many times that you are chanting and asking for services, and say now you have your day fully packed with services, that there is no room left. Say you have 24 hours and you are fully packed for back-to-back services between rest and honoring prasadam. You have no more time left. Why would you still chant? The reason why would you still chant is to get the energy to do services. Otherwise, how are you going to do services? Mangalam, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I get it.
Right, very good. So, Pragya has also sent an inquiry because she was traveling and she did a very good job of preparing ahead of time for the topic, and she sent an inquiry. Abhishek Prabhu, you want to read the inquiries and answer?
Should I read the inquiry and the answer which I've sent you?
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody knows the inquiries.
Okay, thank you. So yes. So this is the message from Mataji. On one hand, we say chant anyways. On the other hand, we have these bhakti etiquettes and offenses to avoid. So the first question is, are these for different levels of devotees? So the answer which I found, the do's and don'ts for chanting are same for all devotees. Based on our level, we may be following them to a greater or a lower degree, but the goal is to follow them properly. The topic of chant anyways is to emphasize that no matter our state of consciousness, we should continue to chant. Once we have faith in the process and make our effort, Krishna is pleased with our effort and showers his mercy. Thus we get association of devotees. By the blessings of devotees and blessings of Lord Krishna, we advance and we can start making effort to chant better, following the etiquettes and avoiding offenses. For different people, this process may take different amount of time, but we move forward in the right path. One step on the right path is much better than walking a long distance on the wrong path. Next question is this a progression that we need to attain as we mature in our bhakti? Yes, we move forward from Adav Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha to Bhajan Kriya and Anarth Nivritti and so on. The good part and the common point is our process and the goal is the same. There is no other process which we can take leaving Krishna Bhakti, wrongly thinking that it is not working for me. Haridas Thakur in Harinam Chintamani says, Jai te sadhana sei sadhya jabe haila, upaya upaya madhya bheda na rahila. The chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not only the means, but it is also the goal of spiritual life, because it is non-different from Lord Krishna himself. Thus the means and the goal have become one. This makes chanting superior to all other processes of attaining God, as the means and the goal are different in other processes. We follow the means to attain the goal, and in this path we need help and guidance, and following the instructions of our spiritual teachers, we progress. The third question is, if we chant anyways, Krishna will mature us and guide us to a pure form of chanting? Answer. The mercy of Krishna is always available. It is on us to follow him or not. The process may take longer time for someone who is not fully surrendered to instructions of Guru and Krishna, and it can be instantaneous for someone who is. This is a quote. One devotee asked if it is possible to become Krishna conscious in this very lifetime. It is possible in 1 second, provided you are serious, Prabhupada said. It is not difficult. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanvan mam prapadyate. After many births, when one is intelligent, wise, fully grown in wisdom, he surrenders unto me, Krishna says. So if I am intelligent, then I will see. If that is the goal of life, that after many births, one has to surrender to Krishna, why not surrender myself immediately? This is intelligent. So Prabhupada is continuing. Why shall I wait for many births if this is a fact? So that requires a little intelligence. It does not require many births. It requires little intelligence. Take to this Krishna consciousness seriously. Then your problems are solved. Now, if you don't believe in it, then come to the argument. Come to the philosophy. Come to the reason. Go on arguing. There are volumes of books. You can be convinced. You can learn it. Every answer is there in Bhagavad Gita. You can try to understand it with your reason and with your arguments. And the next question is, last question, is pure chanting our goal that we should aspire for? Or if we chant anyways, we will naturally progress to offenseless chanting. Chant anyways does not mean we take phone in one hand and bead bag in other hand. Chanting is still helpful, but distractions are like putting water on fire we are trying to light. There is an expert from the morning walk on May 14, 1975 as part of the answer in Perth. Prabhupada said, no, they should be trained up. Sense enjoyment means not advance in Krishna consciousness. As soon as one is advancing in Krishna consciousness, his sense enjoyment spirit will be reduced. That is the test. Bhakti pareshanubhavo viraktir anyatra cha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42. The test is how you are advancing in Krishna consciousness is the proportionate diminishing of sense enjoyment. This is the test. Just like cure of disease means diminishing the fever temperature, this is the test. Devotee asks, what if the fever is not being diminished? Srila Prabhupada answers, then he should try to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Instead of 16 rounds, 64 rounds. That is the way. 16 rounds is minimum. Otherwise, Haridas Thakur, he was chanting 300,000 names. So you have to increase. That is the only remedy. If one has got determination, he will make progress without any trouble. Thank you. These were the inquiries.
Very good. Any last questions, comments, realizations for Abhishek Prabhu's super excellent presentation? Nitya.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In the answers that Prabhu gave, he said that we need or it's from Srila Prabhupada, we need to use a little intelligence. But it is true that it is Lord Krishna's mercy or a mercy of devotee, right? That we initially even come into this path. Not all of us get that opportunity, right? Is it that we use our intelligence to be there, but sometimes it just happens, right? Adyat Sukriti, it seems like it's the mercy of a devotee or the mercy of Lord Krishna himself through a devotee that brought us to this path. Can you please discuss?
Yeah, so you are correct that the Agyat Sukruti, the mercy of a pure devotee, brings us in contact with other devotees and the bhakti process. Bhakti comes from bhakti. You are absolutely correct. But once you are in the bhakti circle, then you continue using your intelligence properly to advance. So the question that Pragya asked is, and what Prabhupada's answer and the other devotee also asked is, that Prabhupada, but I still don't feel that the fever is reducing. And Prabhupada said, well, then chant 64 rounds. Use your intelligence to chant 64 rounds, not just 16. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting, that now you are in the bhakti circle. Use your intelligence to elevate yourself. Yes, initial point I understand is based on Agyat Sukruti and mercy. But then what do? You don't just sit saying, well, I will get an honorary degree. We have discussed this example in Nectar of Devotion. I will sit and wait for some university to give me an honorary degree. Prabhupada said, no, you have to endeavor on your sadhana bhakti to elevate yourself. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting. Use your intelligence to elevate yourself. Nitya.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. That was the really good, that it really highlighted the question. Thank you. The answer. Thanks.
Thank you. So Abhishek Prabhu obviously has done a spectacular presentation. Like many of you said, you were absorbed on the screen. So was I. Completely absorbed, didn't move an inch from the screen. So I have absolutely no comments to give to Abhishek Prabhu for this super excellent presentation. It's really, really spectacular. And the way he does it, like, was natural, right? He wasn't really anxious on anything. He was just doing a natural conversation. This natural conversation approach one can do is when one has thoroughly researched and is confident on the subject matter. So thank you, Abhishek Prabhu, for guiding us on this very important topic. Although Abhishek Prabhu was at the start saying, oh, this is why I picked this topic is because this is selfish. Does not matter. You anyway picked a very good topic, very practical for all of us. I'm hoping devotees got some takeaway points. Yes, no?
Yes, definitely, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, lot of takeaway points. Yes.
Thank you. So the last point for today, as I said at the start, that I will answer the last week question that Nitya asked. I had briefly answered, but I will answer in detail right now. Question is, if intelligence is higher than the mind, according to Bhagavad Gita 3.42 hierarchy, then why does intelligence comes from the mixture of ego and passion, while mind comes from the mixture of ego and goodness? So goodness, we know, is higher than passion. So mind is coming from goodness, when in the hierarchy in 3.42, intelligence is higher and intelligence is coming from passion. So how do you understand this? So let me answer in slightly detailed way from what I briefly answered last week. So the intelligence, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as being above 3.42 as above mind. So intelligence is above mind, 3.42 says. This intelligence is actually spiritual intelligence, which is guided by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Otherwise, it is our mind which controls our material intelligence most of the time. Therefore, mind becomes higher. So 3.42 says, it starts like I'm referring from the bottom, that above the senses is the mind, above the mind is intelligence, and above everything is the soul. So here, this is referring to spiritual intelligence in the hierarchy that we acquire by hearing from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This intelligence is above mind. Such intelligence can control the mind. But if we are not spiritually connected, if we are not guided by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then our intelligence is rarely able to control the mind. In fact, almost always our intelligence gets controlled by the mind, and we use our intelligence not to control the mind, but to fulfill the demands of the mind. And Srila Prabhupada has famously said in a letter which we have discussed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, that we are supposed to use our intelligence to control our enjoying mentality. But our problem is we are habituated to enjoying intelligently. So false ego comes from Mahatattva. We have discussed this at great length in the creation. I've shown you visual. So false ego is then what leads to creation of all subsequent elements. I've shown you visuals for this. So false ego in combination with goodness gives rise to mind, and false ego in combination with passion gives rise to intelligence, and false ego in combination with ignorance gives rise to the elements and other things. Now, mind comes from the combination of false ego and goodness. Now, goodness is connected to maintenance, and mind's primary purpose is to maintain our material existence. Intelligence comes from a combination of false ego and passion. Passion is connected with creation, and intelligence primary purpose is to create newer and newer things for expanding our existence. So last time, this is what I answered briefly, that look from the functionality purpose to understand the hierarchy. 3.42 says intelligence is higher, but then mind comes from goodness, a combination with ego, because its goodness is connected to maintenance. So this is the crux of the question, that why false ego combined with goodness gives rise to mind. Because goodness is concerned with maintenance, and mind's primary purpose is to maintain our material existence. False ego combined with passion gives rise to intelligence, because passion is connected with creation. And creation is primarily meant to bring about something new. The material intelligence brings about newer and newer plans for expanding our material existence. So mind maintains our material existence, and intelligence expands our material existence by creating new schemes for enjoying. The mind basically desires to implement that desired plans have to be made by planning, is the business of intelligence. That's why intelligence is said to come from passion. Now, beyond this intelligence, the material intelligence, does this mean that intelligence has two components? One being material intelligence and other being spiritual intelligence? So, the intelligence or the buddhi is made out of material elements as far as the composition of the intelligence is concerned. But when we are talking about material and spiritual intelligences, we are actually talking of the application of intelligence. As long as intelligence is used for fulfilling our material desires and enjoying separately from Krishna, that intelligence is considered material. And this material intelligence is always subordinate to the mind. On the other hand, when we use our intelligence to plan and execute our services for Krishna, and for that purpose, we control the mind, then such intelligence is spiritual. And this higher spiritual intelligence is described in Bhagavad Gita 3.42, that at the top is soul. Soul gives direction to intelligence. Intelligence, which is spiritual intelligence, gives direction to mind, and mind gives direction to senses to properly engage the senses in devotional service. That's the proper hierarchy. But most of the time, when we are not connected with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then mind is in control. And mind directs the intelligence to enjoy intelligently. Does that answer the last week's inquiry?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much. You highlighted the functionality point last week, and it made absolute sense. So, we are actually endowed when we are first born, first created with material intelligence. So, the mind is actually controlling, the material intelligence is expanding our material enjoyment, and then we come in contact, and then via Guru Sadhu Shastra, we develop the spiritual intelligence, and then the spiritual intelligence helps us control the mind. Do I understand correctly?
Yeah, you are absolutely correct.
Thank you, Prabhu. And then again, it highlights that we do have to use our material intelligence when we come in contact with Guru Sadhu and Shastra to pave the way, to gain spiritual intelligence. Thank you.
Very good. Everybody on the same page? Any questions, comments, realizations? Pratyush?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, on the point of spiritual intelligence and material intelligence, can someone have both spiritual as well as material intelligence? For example, if there's a particular scientist who is also a Krishna devotee, but he still uses material intelligence to create or invent something new. So, can that two coexist?
Absolutely correct. We all have both material and spiritual intelligence, and therefore we are in Mishra Bhakti, that we do both things. So all of us have, it's not can, all of us have both intelligence as long as we are in the Mishra Bhakti.
So, Prabhu, a follow up. So, when we're sent to the material world, we are trying to enjoy separate from Lord Krishna. At that point, we are endowed just with our material intelligence. Then we have to work on developing our spiritual intelligence.
So by default, when the soul is in the womb, the soul is Krishna conscious. So this is described in Canto 3 towards the end, around chapter 30, 31, the Kapila Siksha section. The soul within the womb is actually Krishna conscious. The soul actually prays to Krishna that I actually don't want to go out, even though in that chapter, the mother's womb is described as a very horrible place. Still, the soul does not want to get out because he's Krishna conscious. He knows that once I come out, I will be entangled. And Sukadeva Goswami proved this, that he did not come out from mother's womb for 16 years. He says, no, I will be entangled. I don't want to come out. It's only when Krishna gave guarantee that no, you are elevated, you won't be entangled. So by default, we are Krishna conscious. Our intelligence by default is Krishna conscious. But as soon as we take birth, we are caught by Maya, says in 13.22, Purusha Prakriti Stohi, that we are placed under the stringent grip of Maya, under the stringent grip of Guna, Karma, and Kala, which contaminates us. And we progress on the wrong track unless we meet a pure devotee and then we try to purify. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj has said that one should start Krishna consciousness from a very young age so that we don't contaminate ourselves that much. Because the more we contaminate, meaning the later in the life we come to Krishna consciousness, we can all judge for ourselves. Many of us have come to Krishna consciousness quite late, including myself. It's very difficult to purify because we are contaminated so much, at least I am. It's very difficult to erase from what is engraved in my consciousness. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj says, 5 years or earlier, or even from womb, or even before conceiving, follow the Garbhadan Samskar and Krishna consciousness all along, then the contamination will be reduced and you will be able to use your intelligence as spiritual intelligence to use the senses properly. Nitya, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. Next week we'll hear from Nitya, and we will connect then. We will stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.